Ronnie, and he's part of Mantic Games. And as you all know, we've recently done an unboxing, and we've come to find out a bit more about who Mantic Games are.
Yep.
And just a bit more about the game as well.
Okay, so Mantic Games was set up about 7 or 8 years ago. I'd worked for those other guys down in Nottingham for a few years, and I just thought there wasn't a product out there, games out there that had a wider appeal.
Right, okay.
It wasn't as approachable. You have to spend hundreds of hours gluing your models together before you could play. The characters you didn't recognise, you have to have done a lot of reading. The rules were very complex, and if you're playing a veteran, they would do all manner of fast hands with their things, and you're all dead. And so what we tried to do, let me get a copy of it. What we tried to do with The Walking Dead is we picked up a license that people really enjoy and are really involved in. With the comics, but a lot of people see the TV series, they knew the characters. And when we made the game, make sure it played to their strengths and their weaknesses, you know, so that you felt like you were playing that character, which for me, when I've always played war games, it was the narrative, it was the recreating the cinemas in your own head through gameplay as much as just the competition of it.
So how did that then come about? So you had this idea for The Walking Dead, you were into that sort of theme, so how did you take it from that idea into this board game?
Okay, well, we've been making games for a few years by then, and we've done some of the more traditional stuff, but we've been making them easier, but more affordable. And as we're building up, we've done actually a game called Dungeon Saga, which, in case you haven't seen, is this one, which is the classic dungeon crawler. But by then, we'd learned all the miniatures that it comes in a book. It actually is a box, is the book. The minis were assembled, they were pre-coloured, you laid the tiles out, and you built your adventures, but it told you the characters and it took you through step by step. And the reason that was relevant is once we'd got to that stage and we'd done enough products, I think, okay, we're really taking a big license on now. So I was out in LA, and I turned up to the Skybound offices, which are the guys that own the rights to The Walking Dead. And I'm like totally, oh my God,
yeah,
I'm in there. Yeah. Oh, that's a zombie from the game.
We were doing that just as we were unboxing this,
Yeah.
to be honest. We're like, oh, he's like Cole!
That's Cole. And so I'd done that wall, and I'd gone in and I was chatting to this guy, and I'm trying to pitch him on why this would be a great game. And, you know, they're doing computer games, and they're totally global. And I'm so like, well, we kind of do this niche thing called, and he said, can I stop you? Yeah. He says, are you doing a Kickstarter right now for a dungeon game? I said, yes. I said, Dungeon Saga. He said, that's it. I was on that, looking at the backing that this morning, and I thought, yes, he understands toy soldiers. I was like, that was Sean, and then from that point on, we got on with it, and we started getting it made, we took it over and played it. They didn't want us to kickstart it, they don't like that, but they understood that with the investment they were making in all these tools, that we needed some help. But we didn't go big on it, we didn't advertise the heck out of it, we kind of limited it off at a number, which just gave us enough to fund the game.
Yeah.
And then we were able to bring this out.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I've heard so many people say that actually the Kickstarter package was really good as well. It was, you know, really popular characters. So yeah, there was a lot of people backing it, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah. I say for us it's small, I suppose for others it's big.
Yeah.
But, you know, we've mastered that kind of packaging and making sure it's a pleasant experience. In the past, we've actually done Kickstarters, when they arrive in a box, there's so much in it that you're overwhelmed. So you just kind of put it back and forget about it. So the two things we did was we gave them the first wave of stuff and a nice group of stuff, even though it probably a bit much, where we should have done it, but maybe in layers, but they got there.
Nice.
But then with retail, we really concentrated on just giving you enough to really get a flavour, and then you can add on to it whichever way you want. If you want to play the comic storyline, there's these expansions that have all of the cards you need, the characters you need, and the books you need, and you can recreate solo play.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you want to play PvP and you want to kill the other guy, you can build your gang up. So whichever way you want to take it, there's that choice.
Yeah.
But we've made sure it's small, bite-sized pieces.
Yeah, I mean, I felt the expansion packs worked really well because they did lead you through the story, and that was really great. And you can even sort of play the narrative as well, can't you? And there's even like little comic strips to go with it. So
it kept you in the story. Whereas if we gave you the whole, here's the whole, well, 166 comics.
Yeah,
and growing.
A bit of reading to do. Yeah. So who would you say this is aimed at then? If you could sort of, you know, say who the target audience was.
So what I think, and this is really, I think the first time we've almost been able to really realised the Mantic vision. Because I think wargaming, or tabletop gaming, but with miniatures, has been too much of a man thing for too long.
Yeah.
And I think this game, there's some great, female characters. The Michonnes, the
Obviously,
Andrea.
that's the obvious one.
And in the comics, Andrea's a massive character. Really strong characters.
Yeah.
And there's whichever you like. There's the painting angle of it. There's the narrative, the solo play, the PvP.
Yeah.
So, I've got a couple of sons now and a daughter. So playing games with them. So I think as I've got older, I was a first generation gamer. I was playing at 12. Airfix, war games. Now I've got these guys, I want to make them part of my hobby.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of guys and girls have brought their partners into this game because they like the TV series.
That's exactly what happened with us.
And so that's the aim of this. And I
Yeah.
think that's what it is. And the fact that you don't need to glue them together. You don't need to spend 6 hours prepping the game. And there's a getting started guide in here that leads you through the first game. First couple of moves, okay, I understand this.
Yeah.
There's only 4 okay, right. Oh, I'm doing it, I'm playing this, and it's a bit like learning chess, or it takes a while, but the way to learn chess is to play a few games. And then you get to the point where it takes off. So I think it really has got a wide audience in many different ways, and the approachability, the affordability of it, 35 quid for this, all assembled. There's only 5, there's 18 minis in here,
Yeah.
there's the mat, all the card pieces, kill zone, the things. So there's
Yeah, no, we were so impressed. We were getting so excited about it, and really looking forward to playing it. So
Good.
Thanks so much
Thanks for doing a review.
Yeah, no worries.
Thanks everybody.
Thank you.